Hey everyone, what's going on? It is Zach, and Series 2 is gone. It's done. It's on to Regulation C or Series 3. What are you guys calling it? I'm calling it Regulation C because that's how the Pokemon company is referring it to. But today I'm going to talk about what I think are the five winners of the change of Regulation C. For those of you who don't know, Regulation C is basically the same as Series 2, but the Ruin Pokemon are in. That's Chien-Pao, Chi-Yu, Wo-Chien, and Ting-Lu. So these Pokemon all have abilities that will either drop attack or special attack or defense or special defense based on what Pokemon you're using. So there's different Pokemon that take advantage of it. There's different Pokemon that lose out because of it. So today I'm going to talk about the winners. So first off, with 4 new strong dark Pokemon coming in, fairy types are going to do better. Now, there is always the Terra Steel to deal with fairy typing and the Terastallization to deal with the super effective fairy type moves, but having a fairy type on the team can actually add a lot of pressure to some of these Ruin Pokemon. Sylveon comes to mind as a mon that's really good, but then sometimes not worth it when you think about the Terra Steel Hydreigon and stuff like that. There's just a lot going on for the Sylveon. The only downside I want to say is the 65 defense. So that cut in half is not going to be the best. So you're still going to have a hard time versus the Chien-Pao and Dragonite or Chien-Pao and Palafin. But you can always Terra to deal with that. You can do Terra Fighting, or you can do Terra Ghost, or you can just go with the reliables Terra Ground, Terra Water, Terra Fire, which deals really good with any type of Steel type move you want to deal with. Quick Attack for the priority, but it's still going to be outsped by Extreme Speed, so that's something you need to keep in mind. But Hyper Voice and Terra Blast is going to be good against the Chien-Pao and Dragonite if you can survive a Extreme Speed. Next up with the fairy typing is Fluttermane. Fluttermane is taking advantage of the Chi-Yu. It's taking advantage of its fairy typing even more than before. So Fluttermane is going to stay heavily used. It's going to stay good. And last up, weirdly enough, is Dashbutton. Dashbutton, you're probably going to see at least one team occasionally with a Chi-Yu clicking Eruption, giving it a defense boost with the well-baked body that kind of negates any kind of drop that a Chien-Pao would do. And then you have things like Body Press to deal damage against the Chien-Pao. You have Play Rough for a fairy type move. You have Priority Baby Doll Eyes, which can weaken the Chien-Pao or Dragonite or Palafin, whatever you want to go against. And then you have Snarl for the special attackers. You can also do some boosting with Helping Hand or Howl, and then you could be defensive with Yawn. So Dashbutton could have the capabilities to be a good supportive mon, especially next to an Eruption Chi-Yu with something like a Choice Scarf. Expect to see at least one of them, because before you had to use either Torkoal or Armorogue to get the most out of this, but now with Chi-Yu on the field, this could be a little bit more viable. Next up is Tauros. So Blaze Breed and Aqua Breed. I want to say Blaze Breed probably benefits more than Aqua Breed does for the reasons of the fighting type. So our Intimidator has gone from Tauros back to Arcanine, and now I think that in some situations Tauros might be better. So you get the close combat to deal with these dark type Pokemon. Also can do really good damage into Ting-Lu, for example. Raging Bull, it would be a fire type attack to take down screens, but I feel like most people usually opt for just the Flare Blitz to get that big damage. Will-O-Wisp for your status, and then for the last move you would probably run Protect. And so the fire type is going to make the fairy typing neutral, so you don't lose that much to fairies that are coming in. You can bulk out this Pokemon. It has solid defenses, and then the Intimidate is going to help deal with any Dragonite that isn't in your focus. It's going to help deal with the Chien-Pao, It's going to threaten good damage on a Dragonite if it wants to Terra Normal. And if it doesn't want to Terra Normal because the Tauros is there, you can always just take the hit with the fighting type, resisting normal. Aqua Breed doesn't do as well because it doesn't get as powerful water type moves compared to Flare Blitz. You still have the Raging Bull, which is a 90 base power move, and you don't have the Will-O-Wisp. So you have a little less utility with the Aqua Breed, but you do get Aqua Jet, so you could take advantage of a Chien-Pao, either on your field or opposing it. But once again, like I said, with the Sylveon, you're still going to be outsped by Extreme Speed, because Extreme Speed has a +2 priority, where Quick Attack and Aqua Jet have a +1. Next up is anything that can either deal with spikes or deal with Leech Seed. And the two Pokemon we have here is Glimmora and Amoonguss. So you've already seen a lot of these in Series 2. They're going to get even better in Series 3. Mortal Spin doing poison damage, and if you don't want the Toxic Debris, you can go Corrosion, which will guarantee that Mortal Spin is going to poison even if they Terra Steel. But I feel like the Toxic Debris could be a little better. It's all based on what really pops up. If you don't want to go Mortal Spin, you can go Sludge Bomb for the damage. I'm kind of on the fence on whether I want to switch my Glimmora to Mortal Spin or Sludge Bomb. But you also have the Power Gem to help deal with something like a Chien-Pao or a Dragonite, for example. You have Earth Power to deal with Chi-Yu. The Power Gem does that as well. And you just threaten big damage. And the thing is, if you can go either Mortal Spin or Sludge Bomb. And so for the last spot, whichever one you don't pick, you can replace with Energy Ball with the Terra Grass. That way you can Terra Grass to get good damage on Energy Ball and also avoid Leech Seed. If you don't want to Terra, you can Mortal Spin to get rid of the Leech Seed, and you can stay a Poison type to get rid of that Leech Seed that might hit you. So Glimmora is going to stay good. It's such a strong Pokemon. It has almost the same special attack as Flutter Mane. So this Pokemon, I feel like, is really good. I like it with an Assault Vest and just bulk it out so it can take a few hits there, here and there. So you don't. So if they do lead special attackers to deal with the Glimmora, you can handle it a little better with the Assault Vest. And also Amoonguss. Amoonguss here. Amoonguss has been good. Amoonguss will stay good. Amoonguss has Regenerator, so it can switch in and out. And what is really good here is one, Pollen Puff is going to do super effective damage onto most of the Ruin Pokemon, especially that Tinglu and Wo-Chien, those two bulky Pokemon that you don't want to deal with for a long time, so the more damage you can get, the better. Spore, Rage Powder, Protect is always good on Amoonguss. You can do a Mental Herb, so you don't have to deal with Taunt. And with its typing, Grass and Poison, you're immune to Leech Seed, you soak up Toxic Spikes. So you can really support your team even more now with Amoonguss. Next up is obviously priority users. Fake Out on Iron Hands, Extreme Speed on Arcanine, Extreme Speed on Dragonite, Jet Punch on Palafin. All these Pokemon are going to benefit from Chien-Pao. End of story. And the last one, once again, inspired by Winter Knight, and I heard Cloverbells talk about this. Marcos, aka Moxie Boosted, has used Slither Wing before. Slither Wing is going to be even better now. The Fire Terra is going to help it deal with the Fairy type moves. You have First Impression, which hits first, but it's only on the first turn. So if you want to pivot that in and out, you could switch one of these moves for U-turn and use Slither Wing as a pivot Pokemon. Close Combat is going to do amazing damage. Flare Blitz is for big damage with the Terra Fire, or you could go Flame Charge. You can go Flame Charge to get a speed boost to deal with its mediocre speed. Leech Life for recovery. This Pokemon can have a lot of tools, and it takes advantage of an Assault Vest. So Slither Wing is definitely one to watch out for. I do want to give this a try. I do actually think the Slither Wing is pretty cool. With Slither Wing, you could also do moves like Earthquake, Flame Charge, Flare Blitz. You can do Leech Life or U-Turn. And First Impressions, what is the priority on First Impressions? Okay, so First Impressions is a +2 priority. So something you really have to look at here is what is the average speed of a Dragonite. So we want to head over to Pikalytics. We'll take a look at the Dragonite here. And 68, there's 204, 52. You do outspeed Dragonite by 1. Some of them are going, there's one Jolly that's 204, but most of them are Adamant. So if we take a look at Jolly 204, that's 138. So you could run Jolly as well, outspeed the Dragonite, and still get a boost. Yeah, 204 will speed creep it, so you could always just put that back into bulk, or you could put it into the attack. I would say stick with the 116 and put it into HP. And then you might have to depend a little more on Leech Life. But if you do something like this, according to Pikalytics so far, you will be able to deal with Dragonite because First Impressions will outspeed it. The only thing is that First Impressions is not going to do as much damage because Dragonite carries things like Multi-Scale, and it is a flying type without terrestrialization. So we would have to see the damage calcs to see what it would look like. Let's do that now. So it looks like there's really, like if it's a Choice Banded Dragonite, there's not much of a reason to try to outplay it with the Slither Wing. You're still going to take a bunch of damage if it goes Terra Normal. It is a 68% chance to OHKO, and that's not factoring in the Chien-Pao is going to be faster as well, so they could always double into it if you're going First Impression. So I would have to say here, if they Terra Normal, your best bet is to close combat and get the KO. But here, you might want to just go back to the bulk, and I would just say, just go like the 105 to outspeed most Dragonites. Like the 28, well, 60, 60, 52. And yeah, just max into health. Because you're going to need, you can use close combat to knock it out. So if we go back to Adamant 28. Yeah, so your best bet here is just go for the max HP and go Adamant, and you would have to try to close combat and hope that they don't double into you because it is a 6.3% chance to OHKO. That's worst case scenario. That's the highest roll. It would also do the same with Dragon Claw and something like Earthquake. But Fire Punch is a guaranteed KO, but they would then have to gamble whether you Terra Fire or not. Because the Terra Fire makes a big difference in the Fire Punch. And I honestly don't think a lot of Dragonites are carrying Fire Punch anymore. It's more of Ice Spin or Tailwind, E-Speed, and then maybe Protect. But yeah, glad I checked that out before I just started spouting off that maxing out the speed on Slither Wing would be a good play. I'll have to ask Winter Knight how he ran his, or just watch his video. I haven't watched it yet, but Slither Wing definitely benefits here from Chen Pao. Chen Pao also with Icy Wind, so you could click Icy Wind with Chen Pao turn 1, but Chen Pao has a lot of speed ties as well, so that's really iffy. Well, at this point, I am rambling. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Who do you think are the winners of Regulation C right now? I know that this is going to change as the metagame develops, but we'll see how it goes. If you made it this far in the video, I want to say thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know if you want to see the losers next video. Until then, I'm Zach. We'll see everyone later.